Well, hello lovely people, welcome to today's pick card reading. In today's reading we will be asking the cards about some career advice they have for you. It is general, so if you have like some type of question, like exact question you'll need advice on, think about it, like focus on it and take the messages if they resonate for you. I decided to do this reading today because I have been feeling a bit in the dumps regarding my own career situation in the last month. So yeah, and I was also like super unmotivated to do any types of videos. But anyway, so I thought this would be a nice reason to start once again, and hopefully we will get something positive out of this. So as you can see, there are 3 piles to choose from. All of them are Scooby-Doo themed. So pick the thingy you feel the most attracted to. And let's get to the bottom of this mystery of what advice the cards have for you regarding your career. Hello, pile 1. If you chose this thingy with the SD logo on it, then this is your part of the reading. I will do some shuffling and pulling of cards, so if you feel like skipping that, you can just jump somewhere ahead. But okay, let's ask the tarot for our pile 1. What is some career advice that they need right now? Let's do 5 cards from here. Okay, pile 1. In front of you, you can see the cards I pulled for you. As your main message, you got the waterproof card. Maybe we'll get into its significance at the end. I might even read to you the whole passage from the book, like as a cheering up type of card. So maybe let's start with the tarot. So the tarot cards you got are very much giving me the vibe that maybe you're in a similar situation to myself regarding your career, where you are feeling somehow stuck and unmotivated and probably not knowing which direction to take exactly. And this is something that's causing you stress right now. Like starting from the first card on the bottom left side, the first card you got is the reversed 4 of Cups. And the reversed 4 of Cups, like the 4 of Cups, has to do with strategic withdrawals. So it's basically taking a step back to evaluate what you have done up till this point and whether you would like to continue. Because it could be also like withdrawal in the sense of needing some time to recharge. It doesn't have to be necessarily rethinking and replanning your life or anything like that per se, but it always has something to do with needing some kind of break and potential change. And because you got it in the reversed position, this is more so speaking about you possibly lacking direction and withdrawing a little bit too much. With this card, there could be a message of, you know, it's okay to take some time to sit under a tree and contemplate your life, but also make sure you don't stay in that state far too long, because something could have a sort of an expiry date to it. Now, I don't personally love the message of that type of message from this card. I have come across it over and over again. I don't know if I am the person who doesn't necessarily believe in expiry dates, or I just don't want to believe it because it doesn't suit me to think that you can pass on a chance and never have it happen to you again. So I would be wary of that thing in particular, but still it could be something that you are facing. Whether it would be maybe you got some kind of offer that you are contemplating, and you know offers normally have some they have a fixed time period where you would need to respond. So it could be the case that you need to act on something. But even if it's not, like I said, this card is just generally talking about that situation, that you are taking a break, you are rethinking, re-strategizing, and checking whether what you have done up to this point and what you're also planning to do is even in alignment with what you want. Because you might have been in the position where you started something, for instance, and then you noticed, no, wait, this is not actually something I feel connected to in my heart. So maybe it is the time to change direction. Also with this card, it could be that you are also a bit withdrawn from sharing with people around you. I know that this is, for instance, something that I tend to do as well. I would say maybe it's a random thought. I don't know if you have ever looked into human design. It's really popular in the last years. I got into it like super not deep, let's say, in the last year or so, but I have like basic understanding. Maybe one thing you can do is, like, if you don't know anything about human design, is like Google it and find a couple of websites that would provide you with your type and your chart and whatnot, and maybe you can read up on your energy type and strategy and so on, because you know the different types need to use their energy in a different way in order to function in an optimal capacity. So to say, this is basically what I'm getting at. So in this case, it might be that it would be helpful for you, for instance, to open up a little bit to other people, to share with them your struggles or your thoughts, and maybe they will be able to reflect back to you possibilities you could take, or like paths you could take, or like, yeah, just give you some kind of idea. Even because you technically got the Queen of Cups, not of Cups, of not Swords, not Pentacles, the last one, of Wands. Exactly, it could be, although I am always more inclined to read the cards as you and not as another person, but it could be that some kind of female person that has really fiery energy will be able to help you in this transition. But if not, like I said, I prefer it to always look at it as ourselves and our energy. But yeah, I would say this is more than enough for the first card. Now, the second card that came up for you is the reversed Ace of Wands. And with the reversed Ace of Wands, it is telling me that there has exactly been some sort of delay. It also speaks about lack of motivation, because Wands, like I said, are fire energy, and fire is basically our motivation to do things, to achieve things. It is the energy that gets us up in the morning. And because it's in the reversed position for you, it seems that you might have been lacking both motivation and drive, and also a clear direction. So it is again emphasizing that you are in a period of contemplation, of needing a little bit of patience and solitude to be able to come up with a new strategy, a new plan, or if you already have some seeds of a plan, enough time to water them and take care of them a little bit so they form into something more tangible. It seems that you're still not exactly there. You're in the planning stages. And the third card you got, the one that I noted that it could be technically another person coming into your life to help you along the way. I would also say it's rather the advice to you to not be afraid on the one hand of taking challenges, because there are always challenges, but more so than that, of not hiding yourself. Because again, the first card you got, the Cups card, is a card where you could potentially be holding back from people around you, like closing off, not sharing your emotions here in particular. But this card is advising exactly the opposite. Like, it is time to be a little bit more fearless and show to people the less known side of yourself. Like, if you're, for instance, one of those people that want to embrace on some kind of creative project or personal business type of project, which are normally regarded as a little bit weirder, I guess. I don't know how to put it elsewise. They're, so to say, outside of the norm. So people might not be against them, but it's always like, okay, but like, are you sure you want to do that? Maybe this is like a sign to you that you need to be bold, to speak up for yourself, and to not be afraid to show people what you want, what you feel, what you're planning, like your personality, all of that. And definitely with the last two cards over here, the Six of Swords and then the reversed Tower, it's definitely speaking about there will be some kind of grand change on the horizon. I don't think this has happened yet. I think you are still in the retreat energy from the start. There will be some kind of upheaval and change, whether that sounds good or not to you. Because the Six of Swords card is the transition card and the like rite of passage, like you need to move on, you need to release baggage, even if it's difficult, even if the sea is not clear right now, like you just have to go on the journey and it is what it is. And the Tower card being the final card that came up for you, and also in the reversed position, is exactly that change. But because the Tower in the normal upright position is normally change that happens from the outside. For instance, in the upright position, I would say it could be something like you getting fired or something like that, like somebody imposing something on you. In the reversed position, it's the other way around. So you would undertake some kind of change from within. There would be a personal transformation, and that would basically make everything crumble down, like the tower will fall, but it will be of your choosing, even if it's not like 100% choosing. I mean, you might be hesitant to do it. You will probably fear doing it, like you would want to avert this feeling of disaster happening, definitely, because every change is scary. But it won't be something you can escape, like personal transformation from within. Once you have the seed of transformation in you, it's just gonna keep poking at you until it grows out of you and collapses the thing that's no longer working. So if you are feeling like you're in a period of having some kind of existential crisis or something, fear not, this too shall pass. Be forewarned of the change, so you can make some kind of precautions to the best of your abilities. But you know, we can only we do the best based on the information and the skills and the knowledge and the whatnot that we have at the moment. So try to prepare as best as you can. Definitely, I would never say like leave everything up to fate. But know that what's gonna happen is gonna happen also. So like combine the two, I guess. Work your part and also wait for things to unfold. Yeah, I would say this is from the tarot. With the waterproof card, I will read the whole message to you because different parts of it could resonate to different people potentially. But with the waterproof card, it is in its essence telling you that you have the thick skin, like you have the coating, to be able to withstand this storm. Like the Tower card crumbling down is exactly being hit by a storm, by lightning, and things falling apart. And as you can see, the crow up here, it's like it's not getting wet. The storm is there, the clouds are there, it's pouring rain, but the crow is fine, and it is going to be fine because it has the capabilities to withstand this. So, the message of the waterproof card. The feathers of a crow have a greasy protective coating that prevents water from getting through to the skin. You too have the ability to create a waterproof exterior. When we are waterproof, we are protected from others' draining emotions that can weigh us down. Being waterproof allows you to experience a storm without letting it hold you back. When we are waterproof, the words, the actions, and the emotions of those around us do not impact our perception of who we are or our self-worth. Casual insults, snarky comments, and emotional vampires don't bother someone who is waterproof. Being dragged into someone else's drama can take an emotional toll and leave you feeling waterlogged. But when you are waterproof, you can be a good listener and a shoulder to cry on without absorbing their emotions, leaving you free to support others in need. The waterproof card asks you to create a barrier between the feelings of others and yourself when inner strength is needed. Okay, that was the message of the Crow card. Before you go, I want to take one last small message from, those are not exactly cards, but I like gathering lucky charms, I guess. So let's take one of those as your final message. Let's say I would also have to translate it though. So the message from this card you got, Pile 1, is from Jean-Paul Getty. And it is basically, in essence, the meaning is, if you can trust a person, then you don't need a contract. And if you can't trust a person, then the contract is completely unnecessary, like unneeded. It's not gonna help either way. So this is your message. Maybe it applies to your situation, maybe not. Like I said, take it as it resonates. And know that this existential crisis too shall pass. Hello Pile 2. If you chose the stamp with Scooby's foot, then this is the part of the reading for you. If you want, you can skip ahead because I'm gonna do some shuffling and then we will get into your cards. So let's see. What advice does Pile 2 need regarding their career? Okay, let's take 5 cards. Okay, Pile 2, let's get into your cards. So, I will do the same as with Pile 1 and leave the community card at the end as like additional piece of advice. So, both the community card and the 5 tarot cards that you got are speaking about something that has to do with relationships and with other people. While in Pile 1, the emphasis was very much on personal transformation and not feeling happy with the thing you are doing anymore and needing to somehow change it. The cards in your spread are talking about a significant relationship, probably with your colleagues, because this is at the end of the day a career reading. It could be like a boss or some kind of other work related figure, but definitely the protagonist of this reading is connecting with other humans. So starting on this side, firstly, the first card you got is the upright Five of Wands. And with the Five of Wands card, like with everything, it could be on the more positive side of the spectrum, it could be on the more negative. Both the Five of Wands on this side and the Seven of Wands on the other side can be talking about competition. And competition is normal, it is healthy. And normally, yes, in work we have to compete with our colleagues, because at the end of the day, it's every man for himself, even if they tell you that you are like one big happy family or whatnot. So on the positive side, this could be denoting just that you have been in the midst of competing with the people around you. On the more negative side of this, the card can signify either more neutrally diversity, like diversity of people, the diversity of personalities, diversity of opinions, but it could be flat out some kind of conflict. Like even if you look at the card, the first thing it's giving me like a feeling is that the five people on the card are fighting. Now granted, they are fighting so they can reach the star or the sun or the shiny ball or whatever. So again, there is competition in it, but it's like a bit dirty competition. Like the one guy is stepping on the other guy's leg. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bullfight. Let's go with bullfight because I can't think of something else that suits better. So definitely, to say it once again, your reading is giving me that the main issue here and the main thing that the cards are wanting to advise you on is regarding some kind of conflict and competition in your workplace. And because the second card you got is the reversed Two of Swords, the Two of Swords card speaks about us having to make some kind of decision. And we are hesitant to do so because it feels like no matter what you choose, you're gonna lose something. Like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place and you don't want to go in either direction. Next to it is also the reversed Six of Cups card, which is making me believe that due to this stress, both from the competition, from the attacks, but also from this potential decision that you are avoiding, you are trying to retreat back and think about past times, better times, like simpler times, maybe times where you were either at another job, or maybe your boss was different, or your colleague was different, or just all of you got along for one reason or another. Because it came up in the reversed position, I would say that you are maybe spending a little bit too much time in that place. It's basically like living in the past, because it's one thing to rejoice about happy memories and then to move on, but in the reversed position this card speaks about like actively living in the past, because the present is not enjoyable for you at this time. Now, a potential I see for this decision that the Two of Swords is speaking about, what it has to do with, I would say that because of the other cards, on the one hand, like it could be a decision regarding how you want to act in this situation and whether you should be more attacking, I guess. But more so than that, because this is also part of the message with the Wands cards. But what it's more so giving me with the Three of Cups and the Six of Cups is that there is the potential that somebody has or will reach out to you, somebody from your past. In a work context, I guess it could be also in a work context, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Like, maybe for you the work context is just the stress surrounding you feeling attacked or overthrown by your responsibilities at the moment, and maybe this thing in the middle is just your way of escaping through it. Like, take whichever of the two resonate. But whether it's in a work context or in your life in general, there might be some person wanting to come back in your life. And this is the decision that you are sort of avoiding because you don't know what to do. I would say, because you also got the Three of Cups card following it, which is a card speaking about, it could be both, like it could be reconciliation with somebody, but it also could be speaking about you still needing to take a little bit of a break, and like three people's a crowd. Like, for instance, if you and this person and a third person have some kind of dealings and that's how the relationship ended, it could be denoting that as well. So if your stressor on this front at the moment is whether you should reconcile with this person from your past or not, I would say definitely trust that you can make the right decision, because this spread speaks about you needing to reconnect with people, but it is also important to note that a big part of their message is that you need to decide for yourself where you are standing with your community and whether the community around you depicts back to you, like shows back to you the values you have and the interests you have and the emotions you have and the needs you have, like all of those things. So if you are right now in your life feeling that this person, if you are on the fence about what to do in such a situation, I would say yes, feel free to give it a shot, to give them, like, give the dog a little bit of the finger, but don't let it chew off the whole hand. So if you are in this loop of not being able to decide, it's better to make a decision and move on. Even if it was not the right decision, you can course correct at a later date. But definitely don't continue to keep yourself stuck in this impasse avoidance and just thinking about how it was easier before in the past generally. And like I said regarding the other message of protecting yourself, because we said that both cards on the both sides have to do with feeling somehow attacked, having competition, but specifically, like the reversed Seven of Wands very much speaks of those feelings of being attacked. Now, whether this is just a feeling or not, I would not say this is the deciding factor in the situation. At the end of the day, you are feeling some kind of lack of support by the people around you, to the point of like you needing to defend yourself and what you're doing and how you are doing it. You might be avoiding conflict a bit too much. Now, this is definitely not a card telling you that you need to be aggressive and throw yourself into conflict, so definitely don't do that. Like, you can see how zen she is looking, meditating while all of the wands are trying to like come at her and stab her. I would say this is the energy you need to keep up as well. Like, don't get too discouraged. Look for support elsewhere if this attacking is happening in your workplace. Either look for like another colleague, another department, or if not, maybe towards your family, towards your friends outside of work, like something that could keep your mind off of it and help you to not lose your sense of direction. Like this card is speaking about that. There might be naysayers on your path, but that doesn't mean that you need to stop what you're doing and listen to them, because there will always be naysayers. It's like that old quote from Churchill about, like, it's good to have enemies, it means that you have done something worthwhile in your damn life. That's the type of vibe that it's giving me. But like I said, because it can get tough fighting on your own, again, definitely a big part of the message of your reading is that you need to turn towards other people and seek their emotional closeness above all else. This doesn't necessarily speak about you needing people to complete a project or to work. It seems that you're more so working on your own, but it seems there are people on the outside that would be beneficial to you if you connect with them. Whether it's this person that might be coming back in your life, even if it's not them, then just your community at large. Okay, I read to you the whole message of the community card like I did in pile 1. So, okay, you can see like the tree with the big roots. This is basically what the message is referring to. So each of these roots serves as a community, and it is a sanctuary. It is a place for the crows to retreat in the evening where they are accepted and comforted. Lean on your community. Lean into the groups of people who you feel most at peace with during times of friction or stress. When you pull community, think of it as a nudge to connect with a group that interests you. Not only will you find new opportunities there, you will become part of a group focused on a similar goal. Community may also indicate that you would benefit from examining your relationship within a group or belief system. Are your goals and beliefs in alignment with the group's philosophy? Do you remain within a community because it is simply part of your history, but your involvement or participation is limited, and as a result you feel disconnected? You may need to consider if the philosophy of a community that you no longer connect with is still impacting your decisions or your perception of events. Actually, this last part of the message is making me think that this is also a way to look at the energies of your tarot, because it does speak that you might not be fitting in anymore with a group or a belief system, which could very well be referenced also by the Five of Wands, like the conflicting people, the conflicting beliefs, and needing to re-examine your relationships because they might be impacting your decisions, could be an additional message of like the Two of Swords that we talked about, as long as the potential of a person coming back to your life that might be muddling things up. If this is the case, it could be a part of it that you are also encouraged, pile 2. Like I said, it's basically the same, that you are encouraged to continue on your road alone, like particularly in your career. Again, I am not saying to stay away from people. If it wasn't clear the other 10 times I said it, all of your cards are in one way or another encouraging you to affiliate with people, but it's just about finding the right ones, okay? Maybe one last thing we can draw, because I also did it in pile 1, from they are not cards per se, but like small cards, let's say, with messages. What's a message for pile 2? Let's see. Okay. Let me even find a way to say it in English. So this quote is from Robin Sharma, and it goes something like this. Keep a relationship only with positive, focused people that you can learn something from and who will not drain your energy with bitching and moaning and what's the word in English? Langweile. Damn, I'm not even that good at German, but always when I don't need it, it's gonna come to me. Boredom. Yes, and boredom. Exactly. Okay, pile 2. Those are the messages for you. I hope that they were helpful. Hello, pile 3. If you chose Scooby-Doo, then this is your part of the reading. I will be doing some shuffling, so if you like, you can skip ahead. So, let's see what is some career advice that our pile 3 needs right now. What is it? Let's do it once more. And we take 5 cards. Okay, pile 3, let's get into your cards. So, right off the bat, like my first feeling with your cards was that maybe this is the most, how do I say it, unfocused pile? Like that's the way I feel it. Maybe it's not the best word to describe it, but definitely your pile is speaking about wanting speed in achieving something, the need for making decisions, the hesitation of making those decisions, doubting yourself, doubting your abilities, which is in itself also causing heartbreak and stress, sadness, and the bottom line of it is that you might be ignoring some kind of I can't think of the word again, some kind of impulse that you have. So let's get into a couple of likely scenarios. The first card you got, apart from the self-interest card, the Crow card, we will get into it at the end. And like with the other 2 piles, I will also read the whole card to you. As to the tarot, the first card you got is the 8 of Wands, which is the card of really fast-moving energy. And with the other 2 piles, I would say the cards came up like in a timely manner. Let's say if here starts, let's say last year, and this is now, or this is now, and this is in a year, like whatever. That type of chronological order, yes. With you, I am not necessarily getting the vibe whether this is chronologically, but it could be. But what I'm getting at is that with the 8 of Wands card, it seems that there was maybe some kind of fast movement in a direction. Like with the previous card in the deck, which is the 7 of Wands, it is still the energy of gathering your strength and protecting yourself from attacks and like basically building your fortress on a mountain. The 8 of Swords card is then the card of I have gathered everything, I have decided my energy is organized and committed in a particular direction, and things are gonna happen really fast. Now, whether this was how you were at a certain point and then something happened, or it will happen, like doesn't matter. But the next card that came up is the Eight of Cups in the reversed position. So what it is giving me is that this focused and fast moving energy of the Eight of Wands was cut off by some kind of disappointment, of course, most likely. But the energy itself that cut it off is that you made a shift where you started to doubt the path that you are on, and maybe you were thinking whether you should leave something behind, because the Eight of Cups card is the leaving behind of something that might no longer be serving us, but also wondering whether you should try one more time. So whether those are two distinct things from one another, let's say two projects or two areas of your life, there was some kind of really fast going energy, and then something happened or something mentally shifted for you, and it left you on the opposite side of the spectrum, where you started to feel indecisive and aimless and drifting just in space without a clear goal or without a clear plan on how to get to that goal. And basically when that happens to us, we fall into the syndrome of like the grass is always greener on the other side and my life sucks, and this drains all of our energy. And again, if this shift also had something to do with you wondering whether you should try at the failed thing one more time, it seems that you might still be in that energy, and that this energy might still be holding you back. Because with the Eight of Cups card, it is more likely, because in both scenarios, upright and reversed, it does speak about leaving something behind. But in one case, it's like, I need to leave this behind. And in the other case, it's like, but should I really leave it behind? So, yeah, no matter how positive or negative it was, it's more so the vibe of, yes, it needs to fall away. But like I said, because you seem to have gotten in that energy of indecision and aimless drifting, the next card you got is the Magician card, again in the reversed position. And the Magician card is like the first after the Fool, I guess, which is like the Zero card. It's like the start of something, the manifestation of something, and the power to manifest something. It is the significator of you having all the resources and power at your disposal, at your fingertips, and needing to exploit it in the right way in order to make the universe follow whatever you are trying to create. Yeah, sorry about that. Because the Magician came up in the reversed position for you, it's giving the vibe that although you have the potential, of course, to do that, because of your stuck energy, like mentally or whatever, you got stuck. Like you have some kind of untapped potential and you can't tap into it at this point, because you are still stuck in some kind of indecisiveness or something like that. Now, a part of this could also have to do with poor planning, because it is possible that with the Eight of Wands energy, that maybe you acted a little bit too fast on something. Maybe something then didn't work out. Maybe that left you wondering whether you should try it once again. Maybe this is again like signified by the Magician, which is like, yes, I had the potential for something, but it didn't happen. And it's also leading to the outcome of the Three of Swords, which is feeling heartbroken over it, and also like pulled in different directions, because you can see how there a couple of strings coming from the heart, and it seems like they are both ripping it apart, but it's like ripping it apart in 5 different directions. Like, I'm breaking my own heart because I don't know how to follow it. I don't know what it wants. And in that sense, also the last card that came up for you is the Judgment card in the reversed position, which can again signify that you are your own worst critic and you are feeling really doubtful about what you can do and what you should do, like which direction you should take. And the part of this with judgment is that judgment calls us to follow some kind of higher calling in our life, and when it is reversed, it's telling us like, hey, you are ignoring this calling. Like, maybe it is because you are doubting yourself that you can do it. Whatever the case, the end result is that you are ignoring it. And this is again starting the whole cycle, like the whole vicious cycle of breaking your own heart and doubting yourself and doubting your decisions and staying stuck. And instead of being able to tap into those talents that the magician has, just basically looping in the same place and like not moving forward. Now, all of this tied together as a piece of advice in your situation. Maybe again starting with the self-interest card, which is the main card in your reading. I'll read to you the whole description. So, the self-interest card indicates that you might be looking out for only yourself, and as a result, others will be impacted. On the flip side, be aware of the actions taken by those around you, as someone may try to come in and take more than their fair share. Being selfish isn't always bad. Sometimes we need to focus on our wants and needs. Depending on your situation, self-interest may indicate that you are in need of some pampering or that it is time to put your needs above others. For example, your dream job may require a move or a shift in lifestyle. You may need to weigh the impact taking this job will have on those around you. In the short term, you may be perceived as selfish, but in the long term, your decision may benefit all those involved. I found it really interesting when I read it, that at the end it speaks exactly about a job. So, like I said, because all of those things are general, I will try to not get into like super specific details. The point is that you should get like the gist of this energy. But with the self-interest and these cards that you have, although like the book also says, and take it if it resonates for you, it is possible that you are being too selfish in a situation and taking too much and not leaving enough for others. Yes, this is a possibility. If this is something that resonates for you, like make a mental note of it. It is always good at the end of the day to try and keep some kind of balance. But because of your tarot cards, I would say that what this card is referencing is that you might be sacrificing too much of your own highest interest for other people, for something in the past that maybe didn't work out, maybe for some kind of relationship, because the Three of Swords card can speak about a relationship. It is the only card with a broken heart on it, despite, the Three of Swords, the sword part of the deck being about mental stuff, clarity, knowledge, and so on. This is a card that can specifically talk about relationship problems also. So if it was about a relationship that made you somehow, again, stay away from that higher calling, from that self-interest that you know deep down that you have, whether it was that, whether it was some kind of disappointment, whether it is fear of change in general, there is something that is holding you back, and in your mind you might be justifying it exactly as that, like that you're avoiding it because you know you would hurt other people. For instance, I know that I experienced this because I kind of live at home. I also kind of live abroad. So it has always been this back and forth energy of like, I think I want to live abroad, but also when I'm not home, I feel guilty that, for instance, I don't see my parents or whatnot. And, you know, my mind rationalizes it because it says like, well, yeah, I should be grateful that my parents are there and that they're lovely people and I should be spending time with them and I want to spend time with them. But at the same time, like, I know part of me is also like, yes, you can't get time back. Like when people are gone, they are gone. So this is important to do, but at the same time, if I only do this and don't follow the things I want to achieve, like for instance living abroad or a certain career, or if you have a relationship with a foreigner that lives 2 continents away from you, like whatever it is, if you have that need and you are ignoring it for the good of others, on the one hand I would absolutely ask you, are you sure that this is the main reason? Because I always feel like the main reason is fear of failure in some way. But also, yes, if it is the main reason, still, if you ignore your own needs for somebody else or because of fears that you might then one day end up regretting your choices, like you will have regrets either way. If you sacrifice yourself in some way in order to please another person, this will sooner or later turn into resentment, firstly for that person, and then at a certain point it will also turn to self-hatred for you, because you knew the writing was on the wall, you chose to not look at it, to look at the other direction, to ignore it, to say no, I'm gonna do this because this and this reason, but deep down you know that there was another option you wanted to take, but you had some kind of fear surrounding it. So pile 3, I hope that even with not so many exact details about your particular situation, I hope that you're getting like the idea of the energy itself, and that you can basically take the most important part of it, which is basically, again, the self-interest thing that we're speaking about. Like, don't ignore that inner calling, regardless if you think that in the short term you might hurt somebody or something might happen, or fear of failure or whatever mentally is holding you back. Fight against it, because that mental blockage is the blockage that's shown here. It's not something else. Granted, there might have been some time in the past some sort of lack of planning. This is not fatal. Like, you can always recuperate, re-strategize, and go once again. Like, this is not war. We are not dead. So get your geese in a row and try to do it again. But start with the mind, definitely. Okay, like with the other 2 piles, I want to pull for you like one small thought card, let's say, with a message that might be fitting for your reading. It might be just general. Let's see, what message is there? What positive thought is there for our pile 3? Okay, you got a message from Buddha, which is basically, don't live in the past, don't dream of the future, stay focused on the present moment. Okay, this is the reading for you, pile 3. I hope that it was helpful and I wish you all the luck.